So, okay, today I will explain you the concepts of the wingchun lighting system Chiza and the center line and the footwork together, how they all are linked together, okay? Chiza is generally a method to make your arms or generally your whole body flexible, okay? So, but before we go that far, let's start with the center line theory, okay? So everybody understand what the center line is. Generally when I ask people, or in other Wing Chun methods like WC, VT, or whatever the spelling is, many times people say this is the center line, or the center line is the one that goes through your head, comes out your butt, you know, it's basically an axis, just like the planet has an axis. We can make, through any object, we can put an axis through. It's all geometrical measurements, mathematics. And since the international language in the world is mathematics, it's not English, it's mathematics, like 1 times 1 is 1, and it's all over the world the same. So the mathematics we speak, if it's Japanese, if it's Chinese, Turkish, American, German, they all have the same language in mathematics or physics. So this is what Wing Chun is based on. Wing Chun is based on natural physics, or you can say Taoism, which stands for balance. Right? You hear yin and yang, all these things. And I will go in this also what yin and yang means in Wing Chun or martial arts generally, or how we make it visible in technical or physical movement, yin and yang, okay, motion. So, well, the center line, you need a few things. You need a logical thinking. So the logical thinking is, what do we want to protect? Our kneecaps or elbows or our nose, or what do you want to protect? So just the founders of Wing Chun, this was the first thought when they start to place their hands here in Manza Wuza. So very, very important when I teach that the students take my experience and make it become his own experience. Mostly what we do, we read books, we watch videos, and then go to seminars and collect movements. There are lots of collectors or fishermen, especially in the United States here. There are lots of people out there that are fishing in seminars, going to this master, doing this. What they're all doing is imitating. They're like a parrot. You know, they're imitating other people's motion, but it's not their motion. And it's very, very difficult. So once you understand the concept of any kind of theory, and you can explain it back to people in a mathematical, scientific way, in that moment, this experience of somebody else's becomes your own personal experience. But if you just imitate and talk after the mouth and imitate the person without being able to explain to other people what you're doing there, and you just say, oh, well, my sifu showed me. You said, hey, who told you that's the center line? Oh, I read that book, it says so. Remember, a book is always the opinion of one person. It doesn't represent the truth really in that sense. It's only one person's truth. Or video is just motion. Look, books and videos, they both are good resources to make researches, but if you only get to one source, you have only one opinion. So books gives you maybe historical, maybe theoretical background, video gives you emotions, but still you need the teacher personally, because even here I will teach Chiza, I will show the concept, people over that side of the camera, they will not feel the touch, feel the pressure. So you need all these 3 components to make a whole. Okay, so very, very important. So, but if you're in the same system, and since you people know when I train with you where the pressures, where the concept is, and you understand the theory, so the video and the book will help you. But if you're out of the system, it's a little bit difficult because you don't know where the corrections are, or where the mathematics behind this. Okay, so where the pressures, how we do this. So very, very important that all these 3 components are together. So anyhow, so what is the center line, okay? So for us, the center line, I can say simply, which many people repeat, is this line. It's the imaginary line from me to the person in front of me. You can say my enemy, my opponent, any object or whatever, anything where the danger comes from. This straight line is the shortest line from A to B, or from me to my opponent, right? So, and everybody knows this because we keep preaching it all the time. So everybody says, hey, this is my center line. Now I ask you, hey, can you explain to me why it is there, how you find it is there? Because then people say, well, I ask, where's your center? What do you try to protect? They go from here to there. The whole body, swooping at the center would be about your belly button. But then still, the people are not wrong. This is correct. but how do we mathematically prove it? So again, I said first we need a logical thinking. This means what do we want to protect? So basically take your top of your head to below your groin, so from the big brain to the small brain, or people upside down, big brain, small brain, whatever. So this is the part, right? So without limbs, this is what you call the trunk. This is where your vital organs are. This is what we want to protect. So if this would be the center line, so some people say, oh, we protect the center line because all the vital organs are along that vertical line, which is not true. My liver is outside, my kidneys are outside, my heart is a little bit over here, maybe it's like your throat, it's okay, but you have everywhere vital organs. Okay, so it's very, very important that you have to see the whole box. Now I want to protect this in a frame that my range with my arms, they're like a bumper on a car. My protection shield has the reach and protect this frame, okay, not just one line. So this line, geographically measurements, is just nothing else a vertical line. So the vertical line can go anywhere from here. You can have 1 million if you want lines over here. So let's say if I make my mathematics roundly, so I have a vertical line here, okay, and then we have a horizontal line I put here. So my cross is here, this will be my center point, so I have to put my hands up here, right? So we have to be very precise. So what we really want to know is the center of it. The center point, okay? So this means a vertical midline, which goes right 50% to each side. So the message of a vertical line is what? Defining left from right. So without the vertical line, I could not say from here to here is left, from here to here is right. So this is important for us. So we have orientation to say, okay, from which point to where I decide to call it left. So, but since we want to protect equally both sides, so we need a vertical midline, 50% to both. So in that moment, the vertical midline, when it's defined left from right, also creates one dimension. Because from left to right is we call the width. Okay? So the same job with the horizontal, since we have the trunk, a horizontal midline, which defines up and bottom and top, so it's the height, it's the second dimension. Right? So the cross point here would be my center point. This is probably for every human, no matter how you build, it's about your solar plexus here. Okay? Now, from this center point, there's an imaginary line goes straight out. This is your center line. Now, mathematically, everybody can recreate and construct this and understand much better, because everybody in the world will understand this. If I would say, just like use Chinese terms, people don't understand. I can say, hey, this is a bongzao. First time somebody comes in your school, say, okay, give me a bongzao. The person is going to say, hey, what's that? Is this a banana? Or what is that? Can I eat it? Because they don't know Chinese. Right, so you have to have mathematical terms to explain to the student the first time, because this is what we learn in school. Everywhere in the world, people learn mathematics. Every first grade, or middle school, high school, they learn the same mathematics internationally, okay, or geometry, so that he will understand your language. Now, once you have this, and this, so you have 3 dimensions, and if you build, or if human keep looking like this, built the same way, have 2 arms, they stick outside of that frame, we put together, so we create something like a triangle. In this moment, I have, of course, only 2 dimensions. I have the width and the depth. So now when I do this, the wuzao, we call it wuzao, so this is the attending arm. Okay, so now from the lowest to the highest I have the height. When I do this, everybody can see from elbow to my finger is the depth, elbow to elbow is the width, and fingertips to the highest, the lowest point is the height. So now I have 3 dimensions, you see? Okay, now, if I don't have the last component, since we have 4 dimensions we work with, is time. Time is the 4th. How do we apply time? Very simple example. Now, we use a lot the term of the wedge. Piece triangle, piece of wood, we put on a door. Let's say the wedge height is maybe 2 inches, but the door is up 2.5 inches. So you put under the door and you try to, the door comes, the wedge will never stop the door. The door will open up because it's too short, the height is too short, you understand? So now what you have to do is have the height of the wedge higher. So this means if I have a some people say like this, So the height is not good, so people can hit you on top of it. So that's why you need a very, very strong height. Same with the width. But look, now, if this is 3 inches, and the door is 2.5 inches, so it will stop the door by opening. But it will not stop the door if one component, pressure, is missing. Now if you put the wedge down, what you do to stop the door, you kick it in. In that moment you create force forward. If not, the door is strong, he will push the wedge back and it will still open up, okay, if it's strong enough. So therefore, if I just stand like this, if I maybe Peter, so if you say Mansa Wuzao, that's the US. So maybe this part. So. Okay, now this Mansa, if Peter doesn't move, look, I can hit him. It's very easy to hit him. He looks like a Swiss cheese there, and lots of holes. Now, the same thing. Watch. If you're here, so this is the same thing which I meant by if the wedge is not high enough, the end of a triangle. So if he's too close to his chest. Okay, so because our protection doesn't start on our chest, it starts from the elbow. Because the elbow is a link, so you can move. There's a bumper, there's a tolerance room from here to here. But if this would be here, I couldn't do the bong zao, I couldn't do the tan zao, therefore it's here. So therefore your triangle doesn't start on your chest, it starts from your elbow, because you need this to stop the punch here. If he would start on his chest, and I punch him, and you move forward when I come, I will still hit him. Because the time he starts, the time I intercept, so I always will about 10 or 15 inches I will go through. So this means his position is already too close to his body. Same as when he is slightly offline, if he's next to his center line, but his correct position about next to your elbow. So from here, so if I punch him, he moves forward, I will hit him anyway. Because his wedge would be totally, the width would be not strong enough, so okay? So it would be offline, so I can hit him. So but now, if you place him correctly, the same distance here which we have, and here, so if I punch him now and he moves forward, he puts time in, so I cannot hit him, you see? Now this is the thing, and now if he continues, he will split my force, he will deflect my force, right? So, now, thank you. Time is our active movement going forward. So what we try to achieve with this is, the impact of a punch is your face. This is what the target is. He will hit you. So what we do is we shorten the time instead of here, already bring it up here. So we have contact. The impact is on your wrist. So from here to here, this distance, he has the intercept. So this means this is for our nerve system, for sense of touch, enough time to find out which way the pressure goes to give the chance our arm to be bended in any direction. And then we use that force which we call borrow enemy's force. This is what we do, to be turned or rotated from his force, okay? So therefore time is very important. This is time. By moving forward as soon as the attack comes. Okay? So if I have a boxer, since Hassan used to be German champion for Southwest Germany, right? So if you look at a jab is something bang and pulling back, right? So I have here, if he jabs me, he does this and then takes it back, bang, bang. So when I stay like this, I don't move, he can hit me very easy. But he's dancing and he's coming and jabs me. When I lunge forward, I create pressure. The moment he touches my hand, he pushes, I move forward, I put. Now when he withdraws his hand, goes back, he invites me just like a magnet. If he's very, very fast, so I'm in already. I take the space through that, also wait for his second punch. Okay? So very important that you understand the forward pressure, very, very important. This goes better to Chizo. That's why we're rolling. A lot of people, thank you, safety, 1 second. A lot of people think Chizo is fighting. I have lots of people come over from different Wing Chun styles and say, oh, see for Emin, well, I'm doing so many years Chizo, and can we do it? And I want to check out how you use it. I say, hey, listen, I'm not a dummy here, everybody can come here and do Chizo. The Chizo is nothing else than just a method to implant reflexes. Just to make your limbs flexible. Okay, and later, of course, in a broader sense, make your whole body just like a steel spring, okay? So this is what these people don't understand. And they always think, oh, touch, and you touch somebody, oh, I'm better, I touched him, or this is totally rubbish, okay? So it's nothing as a teaching or training method. Now, so once we understand the center line, how to mathematically recreate it and verify our theory, so for everybody, so it becomes your theory. So you place our hands exactly there. See? Our hand a wedge in every direction, this way and this way. Now, this gives us a tactical advantage exception to a boxer, right? If he is a boxer and I'm a boxer, so this would be our distance. If he jabs me, I can do this. If he jabs me, I can do this. So this is our distance. So when he leans forward, then he touches me. Just lean forward. Boom, you see? This is okay. This is what the boxer do. So I couldn't box from here. This would be not the realistic distance for a box match, right? This is too far. The box here, boom, boom, okay? Now, when I'm here and Hassan jabs me and leans in, this is when he can hit me. So now, go back in your position, box position. Now here's Hassan, look. All of a sudden somebody puts his hand in front of your nose. You think the boxer's going to stay here? What do you want to do if I'm here? What are you going to do, Hassan? Was machst du, wenn ich hier bin? That's it. You see? He will open up because this is too close. He can be the fastest man in the world. The one thing he cannot change is distance. Now which distance is shorter? Is this shorter or this to this? See, he can be fast. He still has to go this all the way this way. And I just if you jab me, I'm already there. Do you understand? So therefore he would not stand here. He would go up there. So now he needs a much larger distance to cover to hit me. So I can be very relaxed. So as soon as he moves in, he needs a preparation step. Whatever he wants to do, he has a step and then punch. So this is the point. If Hassan steps, I'm in. So whatever he does this, he needs to walk in and then get in the distance and then watch and hit me. If he does this, I'm in. So at the same time I step. So through that, his first step is in preparation, my first step is straight attack. So this is something to do with the distance because also gives you the protection of your manzo or of our center line, okay? Now this is the shortest distance, but here, in that case, this is the shortest distance. So I put my center line point from here all the way up here. Now, the same thing, this theory is important to protect our lives. But now I can just take it down to my floor. So I have a center line from here. But this is just to also intercept or cut the kicks and protect my lower parts, okay, so my knees. Now if I see this angle, this would be my depth. Right? So if you look at here, this is my vertical line and my horizontal line. So here's my center point. Here I have a center line. Now, if Hassan would give me a snap kick, look, I cut him here. So same, if Hassan punched me with this, now give me a kick and punch, same effect, same technique. So because I have the same concept down here with the center line. Or if Hassan kicks me with this, see, it's the same here. Okay, so now we can combine, doesn't matter. Hassan can be punched with this and kick me with this. So I have Indo Altos, it doesn't really matter. So everything you later do on the center line, you're cutting the incoming punch. Look, if he punches the ears, just go ears. Now Hassan punches, look, I'm outdoor, so when I have my elbow low, it is a substitute for the angle triangle. If he's Hassan here, look at the effect. So he's split him. The same thing, if my elbow is low, he's split over there. Okay? Now, here is already that side of the wedge. I will split him. If he comes with this, you see? If he comes with this hand moves too. So you move both. There's still the triangle is always there, your wedge concept. Now, if your Hassan comes with this, if your Hassan comes with this, I'm diagonal, still the same. So later on, we can mix the punches. This has all something to do with your Chizo. Because everything we do, we apply the center line on it. Okay? So, now if you look at your Chizo, let me finish the legs first. Look, doesn't matter here, it's the same. He can punch me with any hand, I can always deflect his force. This is where really Bruce Lee got this idea for Jeet Kune Do, intercepting or deflecting punches or intercepting fists. So, this is what you do. You see when we do it here, just chin punches, Iras, good cross, boom, boom, twice, boom, see? I deflect his punches the way, whatever he does. Okay, so it doesn't matter. Each time he comes, I can deflect it. So the same here. If I'm here, if Hassan gives me a cross kick here, look, just by the circular movement, I go off the center line, I move my center on me and cut me. Okay? So if he gives me a straight kick here, if he gives me a cross kick here, okay, if he gives me a straight kick here, even if he gives me a snap kick here, so I apply it, so it's the same, like the concept is the same with the hand. So I don't need to change, so I don't need to change my concept because it's a kick. So a lot of styles, they change their concept, with the hands they fight like this, with the kicks they fight like this, and you don't have in a real fighting situation the time for it, because everything is very fast. So, oh, what do I have to do now? Okay, so now, we apply the center line on your Ponzao, like Chizao. So, what's Ponzao is nothing else, two arms doing a motion, okay, doing something there. What is the something? Now, if you look at fight, if the punch comes, I come. You have two rivers, like one riverbed, two rivers coming at with a high speed towards each other. What's happened? When they meet, the pressure will go up like a fountain, and a stronger push will overlap the other one. Okay, and underneath the other one still will push in a little bit, but the other one will win. So now what's happened here? When Hassan punches, I punch here. See? Now, since in Chizao or in Danchi, single arm Chizao, if Hassan gives me a palm strike, you see I do this. Or if Hassan gives me a punch, he lifts my hands up. Because he doesn't intercept, he doesn't step in. This means we stop time here. Okay, we stop time here because, or the pictures in the movie, Hassan would punch and step all the way in. Go. Ooh. Maybe. Okay? Or, again, because the pressure will go this way. But here in Ponza or Danchi, without a step, the first part you learn, if Hassan punches, he lifts me up because I push it, I want to punch too. So this is a hindered fist. Hassan punches, I punch. First we're going to be like, stronger, yeah? But if Hassan is stronger and he steps in, boom, step in, boom, you see? Then he will bend my arm and rotate me. Only because he's stronger, but I'm not pulling back. If I do it wrong, punch and step, whoop, oi! I see what I'm telling because I pull, so there's no pressure forward. So the idea is really your wrist, your arm always wants to go forward. And so when he punches me, I want to do this, you see? If he's not strong enough, I don't need a boxer. If you're too strong for your opponent, you just, boom. You don't need any towel, any bomb. It's the idea, it's the first principle, right? It's the way free, you intercept. You punch me, so, hey, why should I bounce out? Or why should I jump out? If you punch indoor, if I'm stronger than you, I win. But if it's Hassan, just imagine, Hassan is much stronger than me. Punch, and look, then he does this to me. Okay? But my hand is not pushing here, I still want to go here. If he stops, I will go here. But because he's stopping the film on one frame, if Hassan punches me, easy, stop. No step, just punch, be here. Okay? Elbow deep, so. Now if Hassan steps in, now this will happen, look. Step, 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 boom. Now, still, it's a frame, we stop the film. Okay? So, if you're fighting and you go very quick and punch me, very quick. You don't see any bones out. Again, very, very quick. Okay, okay, so very slowly. That's what you see. Because it's not stopped, the film, you don't see bones out. But you see lots of books, people pose, look similar, but technically not. Or if I would use a block, I would be strong, you punch me. People do this sometimes, they call bongsao block or taksao block. We don't have it, it's not a block. Everything what we do is energy goes forward and somebody interrupts. And the energy still goes forward. See, this is where we put always yin and yang. Everybody knows yin and yang, right? Thank you. What is yin and yang? So, people say, air and not air, dark and light, woman and man, strong and weak, whatever, right? So always the opposite attractions. This is one thing, but they cannot really explain what it is. They just read a book, it says so. But then, how you put it in martial arts? What does this yin and yang stuff has to do with martial arts? And where is in Wing Chun visible? Yeah, it's pretty much, look, if you have a, in that sense, yin is for the flexible, like the female side, yang is the powerful, and the male side, and we have this together. So if he punches me, let's say he pulled my arm a bongso, in that moment, this is yin, and this one is yang, or yin, yang. So this is, I'm taking over the force, and yang is the power. Or just in a very relaxed punch, if you see this, this is already yin and yang. Maybe visible here because I'm by myself, it's just yin. This is yin because it's very relaxed. Yeah, but if I'm here, this is yin. And then the outcome is yang. It's the force because my arm is so relaxed that my force can go through. Okay, and then the outcome, the effect is yang. It's powerful, boom, the damage. But if I'm like this, and he's still smiling, you see, he's still here. Because the force is here, I'm always yang. So there's no yin. So you have to, just very boom, very relaxed. Therefore all punches are very relaxed. So this means, if he's here, if he forces with the elbow, maybe I take this guy's big arms. Okay. Now if you understand the energy, if I punch, and Peter's very strong, can you see? Yes. So he's very strong, he has a tight punch. So what's happening? I'm punching, he's punching. Boom, 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 boom. He goes in. See, this is what my arm still wants to drill in. Still wants to go and drill in. This is the first. This is when the two rivers come and this one goes on top and the other one goes here. Right? So the pressure. And the other one goes still underneath. This is underneath. This is the big river coming. And this wants to go still. This is not all of a sudden doing this. Until the one river takes the one with and back, there's a resistance. This happens all here. Now this river comes very strong. Okay? So, this is what's happened. This is already, look, yang, yin, okay? Force, and flexible. And at the same time he comes, at the same time I go from here, from a side door. And he runs into it. So that's why we borrow the opponent's force. So, another thing is, when you look at, what we say always, well, I'm passive. Lots of people use the word passive. In Wing Chun, we're actually really not passive. Passive means like, I'm not doing anything, you get punched. Okay? We're all the time active. Because when you understand what I'm talking, if our energy goes forward, it means we're always active. We're always trying to go forward. But the decision when to do bongsa or tanda or chum, whatever this force is creating, is not your decision. It's in your unconscious. Because this is something through Chiza you have done for years. Over. One movement, maybe a couple million times, second movement, and then you mix them up. Okay? You train them under stress, speed. When you receive first time, it's slowly. Okay? But later, very slowly taking, but later you have to do it under every circumstances. Stress, force, very soft, and then under speed, basically creating different atmosphere that your muscle memory and your nerve system follows and memorizes these motions, this stress, these pressures, and then your brain, since it's a new movement, is always concentrating, trying to figure out, it is analyzing. The pressure's here, and then you get boom. You always get like boom. So the whole body doesn't work together. Okay? But after a while, you do it for 1 million times. So you very simply said, you make your brain become bored with this movement. So your brain after a while or relaxes, and your brain can do something else now while your physique is taking over. And this is what we call the unconsciousness, a reflex movement. So this means this is not anymore your decision, so that's why people always say passive, but passive actually is really the wrong word. I mean, I would call the unconscious decision, because it's not a decision you make. Okay? So what you do is consciously, is aware, you go forward, you hit. And then what's happened becomes automatic, because this is a reflex now. This is being trained into your physique, into your muscle memory, and everything else is, his force does. If he's too soft, you hit, because this is what you want to do. If he's too strong, he will bend your arm. Okay? In any direction. So if it's here, You have pretty much four sides on your arm if you want so. So if I have David here, look on each arm. So it's just the dance still. If David would punch me indoor, so he would push my pressure backwards. It is stronger push. We call it chamsao or sinking elbow. So if he does the same movement but he pushes to the outside over there, look, then we call the kaozao. So you can push over here, one direction, jump, or the other side, cow. The same from the outdoor. So you have indoor two sides. For cow and jump and outdoor, if you push across my body, you bonk. Or if you just half an inch over my center line this way, creates bonk. If you go to this side, creates tan. So you have four sides. And if you take my whole body with both hands, he has two hands, so I have four sides. You have this side and two inside. But each arm itself has four sides. And if I have this, I have four sides now. For the whole. Okay? So therefore, the center line is always everywhere. Now, thank you. How we position our arm in Ponsao. All these measurements are not just to define your center line. This also helps you where to put your arms. Sometimes you go to a seminar, there are a couple hundred people, and you go there and Sifu is doing something, performing Bongzao, you go like bing, okay, and then a couple of instructors walking around correcting the students. Now you're one instructor, let's make an example, let's say Frank here. So, and okay, let's say I'm the Sifu, I'm practicing Bongzao with you, and I have all you guys are instructors, and you come and correct Frank. You make a Bongzao? So, now Peter, maybe you come, and maybe Sabine come. So we go like this, okay? So, now I go like this, so I go like this. Your Bongzao head over here. Now Sabine comes to this guy there, and now you go there, you put him somewhere else. No. So the next guy comes. So what's happened to this guy is, I think he's going to be like, he's going to be really exhausted and totally confused. Hey, I think we all make the same system. I think this is wingchun. One guy puts my one here, one there. So he's get totally confused, and he goes back home to his school and accuses his own seeing or sifu whatever. Oh, you're teaching me for many years the wrong Bongzao. I quit. So it becomes a technical matter, and people are arguing because, why? Because they don't understand the center line theory. Once you understand and your student understands center line theory, they can correct themselves. They know where the mathematics are. They know where the Bongzao in a form, because form has no pressure, nobody, so it has to be really here. Okay? So therefore, no matter if I give you a wrong correction, you can always go back to the concept of the center line and correct yourself. So therefore, understanding is number one. If I teach people, I make sure they understand what they're doing, the goal they're trying to achieve, the reasons, what's happening, how this happens. So once the student understands the exercise itself and the goal, he will 100% learn. But if you just tell him, just do this and imitate me, he will not learn. Because he will always having questions, okay? So therefore understanding is very, very important, and as a good instructor you have to make people understand. Now, so, okay, you see the width is always depending on the width of your opponent, okay? If somebody is too narrow, because we always explain to put the elbow on the center line, has to touch the center line, has to be narrow. If the partner's shoulder is too broad, so you can hit him without even any contact. So when the Ponsao, if you're too narrow, it's very easy for me to hit through. Same thing for me, if I'm too open, my elbows are too out, so she can hit me, or maybe from this side, you see? So therefore, same thing with the center line, the up and down has to go with the width, tight or open up. So the indoor has to open up, the outdoor has to tighten in. Okay, so Sabine is indoor, this means since I'm more broad than her, my shoulder, so she has to open up a little bit. But the angle, that the elbow has to point towards the center line, and your wrist forwards to me a little bit out. So this is the same. See, and same for me. My elbow, my Footwork is more in. This part, the inside of your forearm, is like a brake pad on a car. Okay, so when Sabine attacks me here, see, again, see how she's pushing my skin back. So when I put pressure forward, So I can stop her. And if she goes too much in, I hit her, right? So now, if she really goes to her target, which is here, I can stop her. Okay, so again, if I would be too open, of course, my focus would be here, it's very easy for her to hit me. Vice versa, if she should be too narrow with her tanza, I can hit her. So this concept goes for both arms. So when we switch around and do the hunzaos, the changing wrists, you see? So if she's too open, I can hit her. If she elbows in and she pushes, she can stop me. She can feel that, oh here. Now she's too narrow right now, you see? Okay, the same example again, if I can have the stairs, please, those steps. So just put it here. Maybe you're taller than you. So if you go on top of it, see, she has the fight. That's why Wing Chun system is also the size doesn't matter. And if you would say the normal position and you're in your normal position, this would be the center line normally, and this doesn't look good. So therefore, he hates being hit here, and she hates being hit here. So we both are, he's descending and she's ascending. You see, now we have the diagonal line here. Everybody can see it more clear now. Okay. Now, if Sabina would be here and you punch Sabina because you're taller, you punch just indoor up and touch his nose and step all the way and lock your elbow. Punch indoor. Okay, that's fine with the elbow. That's not bad, but the same just from the indoor. Okay, and then lock your elbow. Now you see, the way it works on this, you can split the force over here. So therefore, a small person can split the force and then go in. Same thing. Or, if you would be here, and you could punch, she could still have her bongs out and be rotated this way. And they just step forward and punch, of course. Okay? So there's no problem here at all, huh? Thank you. So, take this away, please. Thank you. So therefore, see, no matter how tall or short, or how if I'm too narrow, so I have to open up, you see, my wedge. I'm by myself, I see someone's really big, and my hand is up here. Somebody's tall, my hand is up here. Somebody's short, I'm here. So our center line is really flexible all the time, depends on the size of our opponent. Okay? So what I will explain to you also is now a little bit the footwork in Wing Chun, how we step. Because your hand can only absorb incoming force if your footwork is coordinated. Because if you're too stiff with your position in your legs, if I have you, Peter, I can borrow your big biceps again, please. Of course. But if I cannot rotate, not turn, and he's coming in and punching me very heavy, so you see these kind of things, because then it's harder and hard. Because I don't know how to rotate. My footwork is very poor. So if Peter Hart hits me, then what I do, I go start stopping with the force, and that looks very stiff. Instead of if you're powerful, fast, it's very soft. So I can transform his force here into my body, into my legs. I'm here. Even I'm sitting on this, it's 100% weight in the back, and if Peter pushing me, I'm still very strong, very strong. I'm not pushing me very hard. See, I'm very, very strong here, see? Push hard. So no matter how hard. So I can punch. It's very soft here. I'm not using the muscles are unnecessary for this exercise. But if I would use it mentally because I want to do it, I'm making the decision myself, then I'm going to be like, when he pushes me now, so he can destroy my balance very easy, okay? So therefore flexibility is the best. So, thank you. Flexibility, in Wing Chun we are not weak or stiff. We are strong and soft. So if you have an iron bar, and you put softness, it becomes a steel spring. Like, okay, this is what we are, powerful, but still at the same time flexible. Okay? Stiff is like a branch on a tree, the wind comes, and softness is like the grass in the wind. Okay? So we have both, we are strong and flexible. And when soft creates flexibility, okay? So, the same thing with our foot. When the iris, when you see we have 60-degree angle, and our knees are adducting together, pressure together, and between our heels is our own shoulder size. Because this is very natural. If I stay somewhere and talk to people, I have always this is a very natural movement. If I step forward and talk to people this way, hey, come, what do you want from me? You see? Same as when we stay and listen to people, oh, well, I don't know. This way, very natural. This is what you have. If I turn my heels up, this is our natural position between our legs. So people don't stay really like this and talk, or they stay like this and talk to people. Right? So it's very natural here. And if I go in my position, that's what would you do. So everything is created in a natural way and goes with the physics of nature. So, however, now, this adduction together and rotating to the inside, iris, internal rotating adductional stance, right? So, inwards, and then now you can rotate to any other side, any side you want. And adduction is the pressure, because this adduction, if you put the pressure on one side, I push stronger, you see, it will rotate me. It's mechanical now, okay? Now, and stance stays for stance. Now, when I have this, also I rotate my hip straight. Okay? If you look at it, if I'm like this, if I bend my knees, just go down, my butt sticks out. You don't want to stay like this, right? Or you see people that are leaning back. So they're staying like this. Because now when I hit somebody, what's going to happen? You're going to fall back. You got the backlash from your own punch, and you're going to lose your balance back. That's why we're very straight. Now what we do is we rotate the hip into the center. Okay, and then adduction is here. So therefore I'm very strong. Same time as through this adduction, anytime I release, I can shoot very fast out. Okay, let's say if I'm here and Hassan is there, let's say the situation, he pushed me, now he's threatening me and he's going to put his guard up. If you put your guard up, I can crush him very fast. Instead of looking, oh, and then start to dance and look. Or sometimes people push me, I can explode and use this adduction to hit him. Just like an arrow and a bow. Therefore, this stance, going into this called the arrow step. Your arms are the arrow, your punches are the arrow, and your whole body is like the bow. Look, if I do this and with the pressure forward here, if I take this pressure out, basically what my lower part is doing is this. So it's like skiing, eh? You're holding. So as soon as I release, I'm very quick here, and your balance has to be there. Now, if I have weight in the front, certain other Wing Chun styles they go like 40-60. So 40% here, how can I attack him that spontaneously? That's fast. Because I always have to withdraw the 40% first and then lift and go. It's too late. It's too late to chase somebody, okay? Once this, when Hassan, let's say he wants to box or whatever, so just come here and you want to jab me. I'm in very quick, so I can crush him. The second is, let's say I'm already here and Hassan is covering up. I punch you, you jump back, Hassan. Okay, so then I can chase him. It's very easy to chase him, okay? So, but if I have 40% here, or whatever, so when Hassan jumps back, I have problems to chase him. So that's the reason why we sit here. So we can go in, okay? Thank you. Now, we have different steps, as I said, from here, from a neutral position, steps. Now we always, let's say there's a kick coming. Earlier I showed when Hassan kicked my knees or my groin, we do a circle, stepping. But again, the momentum is one. There is no momentum. We don't create momentum. This would be a momentum. Look. Two sounds in the middle. So this means I shifted my weight. Now look, if you listen now, it's one sound. Both legs have moved at the same time. Okay? This comes from the adduction. If I do my step, some people have a very philosophical step. This looks like this. So you cannot fight like this. And also between the distance between my, or the timing between my foot, 1, 2, this is wrong. Takes too much time, okay? So therefore it's really in here. Now you have this step to advance. Once you're in the opponent, let's say once I'm in the opponent, if this is my normal way of walking, just like window shopping, this is the way I go walking. That's fine, but I cannot fight. But the distance between my legs, the distance I'm covering, is the same. If I go here, it's 1. If you would just walk normally, so he's not faster than me. Even though, look, from here to here is the biggest distance, much bigger. But see, one step, I cover the same distance than he does. This is much shorter. Look, this is shorter than this, you see? But the distance I'm really covering is the same. Now this means if he's like a fighter, yeah, so I cannot fight like this from here to there. 1, 2, Okay, or I cannot, from here, I cannot walk through him, because then I cannot fight. I have no space for my punches. Now, but once he's here, if I step away, now that's the reason I get all this in there. Okay? So, very simple to understand, because of the distance. So, I can always have this and put here. So, another thing is, we don't stay like a boxer or like a karate in front of opponent. If you would do karate or something and punch, boom, this is the distance he needs. This means I can sweep him. This means, see, I can kick him. Sorry. This means punch. This means also, look, if I'm that close, right, I can kick his knee, I can sweep him, I can stop him here, and nothing, even he hit me, I go like this, but he did not hurt me. I have time to recover because now he has to shift away to come here. It gives me time to recover and balance. Okay? Same when he boxes. People box, the time he's landing, when he box and punch me, jab me, boom! So his body weight stays still. So he gets maybe 40 or 60% from rotating his body on body weight. Now I need somebody bigger because you reply too easy. Maybe him again. Now, just relax. Now if you see him here, look, if I box, okay? So this is my rotation. This maybe gives me really 40, 50. Karate, but they mostly have something with the hips. I never understood what the connection with this has to do with the shoulder, unless you pull your shoulder back. But still my body weight is really standing. Now, if he stays there, look, if you look where his foot is, and look where my rear foot, when I step in Wing Chun, where my rear foot is going to be. Just look. It's exactly where he used to stay. This is really the only way to move 100% of your body weight behind your punch. So therefore, I don't stay here. If I'm here, if I would do my Wing Chun like the other people do here, he can kick me, he can sweep me, and also, of course, he can kick me here too. And this means my fist in Wing Chun ends with the one line with my toe. See one line? So if I do this, 40%, so my foot is here, my fist is there. This means also I'm pushing. I'm not punching. So just don't worry, just stay. So when I go in, I don't want to have this old effect I have. So I want this. See, when I'm deep inside, first and second is, once I'm here, can you sweep me? Can you kick me?
No.
Okay? So at the same time, if I'm close enough to when you lift your leg to kick me, I can break his balance with my punch. Okay? So, the other thing, of course, as I explained, so if he's there and I move in, have the punch, I can put my whole force into this. So I can really create, as a smaller person, as a woman or a smaller built man, very powerful punches. On top of it, we call it arrow step because I have more punches than like karate or like boxing. So if a boxer hits this time, he needs to catch his balance, get to the next punch. Okay, if he jumps, he's not going to wait, of course. Wing Chun doesn't matter. If I punch you, you just jump around, go. I can nail it. But if the same is happening in boxing, we box. You'll be dancing a lot. There's not much punching. You have to watch where it is, where it's opening. So this costs you not much energy. And if somebody's, in this case, taller, longer reach, you have problems. Okay? So, thank you. Now, this is the one thing. Next is, of course, sometimes the distance is too big. Very simple. We use the normal way of walking, and then I can go to my stand. Okay? So let's say I'm here, and I'll cover this distance. Look. I'm here. Now same to the side. Look. Here. Here. So I will cover much bigger distance. This means if I have you, Hassan. Sometimes people push you. Hassan pushed me all the way back. I go, hey, I don't want trouble. And then he's like shouting. He calls me, hey, I don't talk about him. He's there now. Look, stay over there. Now from here. Hey! So I can go very fast in the stand. Okay? So let's do more. Look from here. One. He cannot kick me. See? I'm big distance. So even Hassan steps too. Here, with my second step I made. This is the passing step. So because I'm passing one foot. And here, now I'm passing it, and now I'm going to Wing Chun. And again, very deep in my opponent, okay? So, even this happens, you move, I'm here, and I go back into this. one to cover the distance. And then I go back in the first normal step, okay? Another thing is, if Hassan is here close, now, it's like a boxing, I punch him, Hassan jump very, very big. You see, I have problems over this. So, if he does, then you push this step in, if you fast, you can never escape. Because when he opens very fast, boom, I can put this step in. So he has no chance to escape me. But this all has to do with chi. Let's say I do this. I play a trick on Hassan. My pressure is here, stays still. Boom. Oh, thank you. See, it takes too long time. Look, oh, what's happening? Boom. So, it's the idea of pressure, time. Remember dimension 4? Now, if we are here, Hassan put pressure and then Hassan. Okay? Or we're here and Hassan jumps much faster. So I keep the distance. I can use each step. One more time. If we step a little bit, I can go to normal step. Okay? So, or Hassan jumps much bigger. I have normal step. I'm here. Okay? So you understand. And this is something. It's very good. I maybe have you guys practice a couple minutes. Just do this. Now you react. Okay? You react. I jump. I catch you. So you do this, you give fifth program. Too late, bang, thank you. Okay? So it's good reaction here. Boom, 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 boom. Too big. Yes. Now I want you to understand fast, but short or long distance. You have to feel it, okay? So I can do very quick. The idea is here, but what you do is nothing else. We're boxing, and I jump out to do this, boom. So if you give the boxer that time, or the puncher, boom, you see? Now, there's the same thing. If I jump back and you're too late, so you don't let me go. Okay? You must be very fast now. You see, I have no time. It's the same if I'm boxing with him. If I jump back, Hassan, you see? You don't want to give him this time. Okay? And another thing is, with a big distance. Yes, very good. Okay, everybody, partner, just for 5 minutes. Do it and bam, 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 okay? Let's go. So, okay, that's good. I'll leave you a couple minutes alone and you go like a couple times. Somebody jumps and you react to that, okay? Let's go. Try to make the split intervals. Fast, slow, this is about split. Distance, so he has to make the other step. Okay. So, okay, now some correction. The person who pretends to be the other guy, he has some, it's very, very important. Okay, so if you, maybe you guys go a little bit down here, so don't look at from behind. So, now when we do this, let's say Peter is chasing me, sometimes I can do this. See, if he's going open, you just kick him. Therefore, look, if I'm here, and if I have 40% weight or whatever, look, see what happens, opens up here. So then will be really 100% that we can close. Generally, sometimes people push you, hey, just by accident you get hurt. Okay? So it's very, very dangerous. Now, maybe sometimes you punch the guy, you go like, oh. Okay? So, or you like you hit the guy and he falls back, goes up here. So therefore we keep our knees always narrow and then we don't lean in because we get swept. So when you chase me, okay, I'm doing this, boom, it's too far away, you see? Balance problem. If he's too far away, he's trying to reach me with the punch me. So too far away, I can, oh, you feel? Very problematic. Therefore you really need to be close enough. So if I punch you here, it's very dangerous. Therefore you need to be here, you see? Now he has very problems. Trying to kick me or something? No. I can put pressure on him with my attacks. Alright? So now we do the exercise again. And then the person who jumps back, kicks, sweeps, and if the head falls down from the Wing Chun person, slap it. Sweep, kick, slap. Okay? Let's go. So, okay, let's go and try and help each other out. Hassan, this was too late. Faster, okay? So you can take this to drop this balance. You you keep your hands up. You see how you're dropping? Keep your hands up.
Yeah.
Don't try to do this. Okay, go BAM! Immediately from here.
Okay.
Use your punza immediately to move. Yes, much better, much better. Very good. Don't give your opponent a single chance, okay? Yes, happens. Yeah. Okay. Your front foot is just like a pressure. Keep pressuring with your front shin. Okay, move in. Very aggressive. Okay, so now I'm gonna explain you the 3-dimension and the 4-dimension on a single arm. Okay, like so, as I mentioned earlier, how you can correct and help yourself for the right position, so you don't get frustrated by people who are moving your arms around in seminars or people telling you. And this is a good help for beginners, mid-level students, and instructors. They of course should know all these things. Okay, so if I have a Frankie, so if you look at the iris, the bongzao, like here. So if you look at the bongzao, you see it's a diagonal in the front, maybe this way first. So if you look at straight, from his shoulder to his hip, it's like a diagonal line. It's a straight line. Okay? So when I take, since the fist is going to be here, the attack is here, one line up here, this is your height. This straight line to here, where your fist is lying on, okay? Now, from the diagonal, when I take a line from your elbow here, this is your depth, the forward depth, okay? Now, and if I take, since your fist is out, a line from your elbow straight up here, this is your width. Width, height, depth. Okay, so you have the 3 dimensions, but your pressure forward is time. Yeah, it's energy forward, you see? Therefore, because we're sticking. So remember the term of sticky hands? So because the pressure to each other makes your arm sticky. Because if he's soft, if he drop, so we don't stick, boom. Same for me, if I take, his pressure goes off so we cannot stick. Or if you push your elbow but take your hand back, now you see, we cannot stick. Then I have to move in. Alright, so if we both are forward, now, if you still keep pushing forward, now I can, just keep pushing forward, now I can rotate him. Now see, now he's sticking here. If I go back, he comes back. Boom, like a spring. Boom, boom. If I go this and drop here, boom. Very easy, you see? Very, very easy, yeah? So, now, same thing on the tanza. If you have your tanza, 45-degree turn. So this is like in the assumed tower, remember this position? And he just turns, right? So in this case, he's being attacked, of course, this tanza. Okay, now, so, okay, you're here. Now you just rotate. Ooh, so 45 degree, 45 degree. So now the fist is here. If I take a line here, this is your width, not this side. It's this side because I'm attacking from here, right? Now, since it's here, if I take a line here, this is your height, and this is your depth again. So you understand, you have all the 3 dimensions. The pressure forward is your time. Always wanting to go forward. So no matter if it's, thank you, if it's the chamza, it's the same thing. When you find chamza without, so the elbows a little bit sinking and out. So he's very slow. Since he's here, if I take a line here, this is my width, very small here in this case. Right? So this is my height from elbow to up here. And of course, this is again my depth. So in 2 hands, you have both hands. You have to apply the whole 3 dimensions onto from shoulder to shoulder. 1 is just the arm. So you have the 3 dimensions everywhere. Everywhere. Okay? So unless you execute, when you lock it, then you're executed already. But then you hit already, attack the person. But in a relaxed position, we have all the 3 dimensions. Okay? And as you see before with the foot, with the kicks, we have the same everywhere. So the center line is very, very important. So the idea here is also that somebody attacks you. When we fight, we always say you fight frontal. Frontal means, okay, we face. Why? Most people do this, conventional martial arts, they mostly start sideways or this or this. So the problem is, they say, oh, if I stay like this, I have only this part, so they cannot hurt me. But the main problem is if you stay like sideways. Well, the problem now is they forgot that they have round kicks now, they have hook kicks, they can do everything in straight punches. So they have to, all of a sudden, they have to protect 3 sides. So therefore, since you know this, he wants to attack me and hurt me. So I really give him, that's what we mean by being frontal. I want to give him what he wants to attack. It's somewhere here in my trunk, all my vital organs. Through that, I push him in a position to attack me almost solely straight. So he could give me a snap kick, easy, still human, punch, boom, or like a boxer, whatever, okay? So now, if he punches me, okay, look, this is what therefore I can use my wedge. But later on, or he kicks me, I can use my wedge here. Same thing, you see? But why we don't stay sideways like most other martial artists? They think always, because when they stay like this, so they cannot attack him here. But what they always forget is that they have round kicks, they have hook kicks, okay, they have jabs, so they have to protect 3 sides. Now they have to really like a windshield cleaner, block with their arms all over. Now, when I do this, so why should he kick me on my arms or my muscles to waste energy? Right? So he wants to kick me, so he will kick me here to hurt me, okay, or a side kick. But why roundhouse kick here? He will kick me maybe on my head, but this is for me easier to defend now. Okay? So because of my protection. Now, another thing is, look, since I'm the target, so we both have a center line. So what he does is, if he punches me, maybe with this hand, so he punches along the center line. So what I'm doing by rotation, I'm out of his center line. So this was our joined together, both of our center lines sync. Now if I turn, now see, this is my center line here now. His center line after his punch is over there. So this means both of my limbs, or my 3 limbs, can attack him now. But he can't, he has too long of a way, and he's very imbalanced with it. I can break his balance very easy, because all his energy goes this way. If you look at thank you. If you look at people do bench press, okay, this is the way you do this, our punch, very tight. So if you want to do, you have a lot of power here. So when you do this, you have less power. So it's totally different, because here, all this muscle, your delta and your latissimus works together. Without that, you're even aware of it. So all this muscle together, but if I open my elbow and push, this is totally soft. Okay? So, and this is a little softer. But if you do this, you feel all your triceps here, all here, it all works together, and then you can punch much better, and it's straight. Okay? So you also protect while you attack. And here comes the old saying, your best defense is your own attack. So instead of blocking, let the other guy be defensive. So we attack, we're all the time very offensive. So let the other guy be defensive. Because if he attacks me, I attack him back. On the way from A to B, a lot of things can happen. If his pressure hits my arm, he can bend me and I come from the side. He is actually deciding my center line. When he rotates me, it's just like a bullfight, yeah? Just like a bullfight. So if you come again, Frankie, you ready? So if Frankie punches here, look, see? I let him pass. So just, even I have the red shirt on, just imagine my arm is the towel, okay, the material, like a bullfight. Okay, so if you come in again, I just step to the side. Yeah, very fast ball, huh? Now, look, some people fight like this, right? They're here, if you come again, and they take the towel like, and you die, because this is nothing else like this. So if he punches me, and I'm too fast, see, he hits me. You understand? So therefore we don't do this. Our hand is a towel. If he punches me, I tell boom, see? I let him pass. Very, very, very simple concept. This is everywhere what we do in Wing Chun. But however, again, slow motion. So if he punches, look, boom, I'm here now. His center line is passing me this way, and he's on my center line. Because when he would really attack, I take this end, he wouldn't stay here. He would go really for real. Punch, boom, boom. See, now he's stepping all the way onto my center line. But when I exercise before, you stop here. So this is because we're training now. See, he stops because, therefore my turn is not very, very big. It's very slow. Still, he's on my center line. If Frankie steps further, now boom, it turns me more. So my center line always sticks on him. It's just like a rifle, pistol, or rifle with a pinnacle, and you go after him. This is my center line. It's like boom, you come, pen. So this is the concept, and this is what we do here. We do cheese out. let's say Frankie pull me or whatever. So boom, boom. See? He rotates me. Maybe the same thing from this side. See? He rotates me, and then I can here. I can use it and attack him here. Yeah? And then later on, of course, it's all matter of seconds, split seconds. Now what we do to implant the reflexes, if we give you movements, one, the next, and the next, it's just like a network of movements, a road, so you know what's coming next and next, because this is the way you have to learn first. And then later, you put everything in a box and shake them. So you don't know which movement comes first. This means, if I show like this, look, I can give him an attack like this, you know, I can pull him maybe, attack like this, I pull him here, or I can straight go with a paksa in, or I can just go with a boom, boom. So whatever, when we do this, and Frankie attacks me with anything you want, whatever. So we just do a lot this, So I can just let him pass. I don't know what's happening, he can do whatever he wants. Boom, okay, so it's just for the first moment to absorb the energy. So in a real free fight, nobody comes like this. Hey, people go, hey, what? Boom, they'll push you and punch you. So there we use your chi for split seconds. If Frankie punches me, my hand is like, this was already my chi. Okay, come on. Now, when he punches me, look, hey, this was my chi, the first contact, and I can guide him and push myself away. Rest, we don't give the opponent more time to fight me back. So if he punches or pushes me, hey, this is what you do. You knock him out and go home. Have your cappuccino, right? So you don't want to do this. Very slowly push. Oh, please punch me again. Slowly. Oh, I can show you my times. I'll punch me. Oh, who fights like this? Only in the movies you see how they block many, many punches. How many punches you can block really? This maybe a few, but this, no way. It's too fast. Okay? So therefore, if you give me chin punches, see, that's the first moment, then I get them. And that's it. I don't give them another chance. Okay? So very, very important. There's also two situations you're very vulnerable. If somebody attacks you very fast with a jab, like the other martial arts, they're leaning slightly forward, a little bit weight in the front, very fast, give me a fast punch. See? Problem is when you attack, you cannot change directions with this conventional martial arts, okay? Or the second time you're vulnerable, if you have no balance, hey! See? Problem, if you are off balance, people can hurt you too. So both ways, while you attack or while you're off balance. In both cases you can't. Look here, I attack, but still, when I'm in the air and I'm leaning forward, I cannot change my direction. But if I attack Frankie, Frankie jumps left or right. Okay, so doesn't matter. I go, so I can change since my weight is in the back leg. So look, I can change very quick my direction. My head is back. But if I would do this, I couldn't, because I'm leaning forward, so I cannot change. So therefore, the long-term footwork is the best. But many people cannot understand how you can stay 100% here. Many people, they do chizo, they do this. Very powerful because they don't understand how to absorb the force. If I lean in with power, so why do I need bongzo if I train like bodybuilder, weightlifter, you see? Okay, if you do this very strong step and push very strong, look how easy it is for me to just rub this force. Yeah, when I'm here and you're very strong. So look, very strong here and let you go. If you're stronger than me, push the head. So go like this, okay? So therefore be very high and then understand how you can be so soft. That's exactly why. Because I can, through the flexibility, I can take the big force away. You understand now? Yeah? Well, if you look at the Tai Chi has principles. If you push me, Tai Chi, they use your force and push you. Because that's what they do, but only if you attack like this. If you attack me like Wing Chun, oh, no, hey, this is not Wing Chun. This is leaning forward, okay? Just attack me like Wing Chun. There's nothing to take, because you're here. I only can do when you do this. Look, if you just one step, one punch. He's still here, you see? But if you do one step, one punch, but you lean in. Now look, now you see, I can use your body weight. Do you understand now? It's very, very important to understand balance, distance, and the timing. I'm not saying if somebody don't move, I punch you like this from here. It's a very powerful punch, of course. If I punch you with this, if you're like a dummy and stay there, it's your problem. But why should a small person punch like this being open? Look, if you box this way very slowly, then you look like this. Because you have no protection. Therefore, they have to dance all the time. They have to hide. But in nature, if you punch me, whatever, I have my protection. Because of my wedge, because of my center line theory, the way I line up my limbs to protect myself. And this is what you do actually in Chiza. So Chiza is nothing else. Look, rotation. See my third dimension? If I took double bongza, you see all the 3 dimensions? Width, depth, height. From this elbow to this elbow. Boom. Or I have foxa, doesn't matter. Okay? So, and this is what we do. In both arms like in single arm danji, we do boom, you do palm strike, boom, 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 don't lean forward. See, if you lean forward, I can do this. Step back, lift up. Okay? Boom, 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 boom. Maybe change, yeah? Boom, 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 boom. Okay? Now, here you have the 3 dimensions. You have the pressure forward dimension. Now we have apply. Same technique I did with this arm, but we don't look the same. Now you think double palm, boom, double boom. Now this is synchronized, you see? But nobody does this. The real fight is not like that. So that's why each arm does something. Look, while I'm in boom here, I'm in folk here. I boom, see? Now that's why this is where each limb don't know what to do. So don't miss it. Now the problem is you ignore. Maybe I'm here, okay, and I hit him here, so he doesn't defend. He ignores. Boom, I hit him here. He ignores. He doesn't do bombs out to hit me. You get hit because he wants to touch me here. So this means each time you ignore or attack, you get punished. So therefore, you really have to be realistic. And so I'm here, he doesn't care, and he's trying to punch me here. This is a big problem. Because then you teach yourself something different. In a real fight, okay, you punch me, you ignore this one, but you don't want, I'm coming here, you ignore, you come with this. This is what you're basically talking about. You cannot ignore this. So Chiza teaches you all the stuff to stay, really stick on him. So if you attack me, just, let's say, just stay in the 5th quantum. Just like this, just like this, boom, boom. No crossing arm, just this, see? Very difficult to attack for him, huh? And balance, you see the balance? So each time he opens up, he gets somewhere. Hit him. Very difficult. Don't take it away, huh? See? Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so what I'd like to see for you guys is experiment a little bit, everybody partner, and we make some action, okay? Let's So, okay, so that's pretty much a little idea for you how the general center line concept is applied to the Chiza, the 2-arm, which we should call the Ponza. But the same concept, remember again, you can apply anywhere. Even on the anti-grappling, when you're on the floor, you have the same center line theory, okay? Same concept, same 3-dimensional positions. Our leg in the front, our hands up here. So nothing changes. So once you understand this, you can really help yourself to correct your positions. So you don't rely on people always doing this and that. I mean, you're always instructed to advance, get corrections, but generally for a mid-level student or something, it's very, very frustrating to go places and people are really moving his arm around and say, you here, you there, and then I get confused and it's not fun. So it's very, very important that you understand how scientific Wing Chun is being developed and how scientific Wing Chun is working. And this means there's one mathematics behind everything. So the theory people give it to you when they teach you the example have to be according to the science of Wing Chun, which is physics of nature, okay? Which is Taoism. Alright? So I hope you enjoyed this class and I'll see you soon somewhere. Okay? In this planet. Thank you very much.